Patrick, thank you for joining me today on Pop Culture Unplugged.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's good to be
Exciting
here.
times, man. We have Cobra Kai Part 2, Season 6, Part 2.
I know, God, it's man, I can't wait. I feel like I'm counting down the days. So, what is it, like yeah, it's a week from today. Me acting
Yes.
like I didn't know that exactly. I'm like, oh, it's a week. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does it feel, man, to step into an established, beloved show, powerful Axel? Like, tell us a little about that.
Oh, it's so great, man. I mean, I feel like as an actor, you want to the main thing is you want people to see your work. You want to affect people in some way. So I think to go into something that just has this massive fan base and legacy behind it to be a part of that and help move that story along is just it's really exciting. It's great. And yeah, I'm looking forward to bringing a new character into the Karate Kid Cobra Kai world and continuing the story and hopefully fans seem excited about new characters, so I'm hoping people are gonna enjoy the Iron Dragons and Axel and Zara and everybody. So I'm really excited about it, man. It's great. It's an honor.
Did you when you booked the role, did you go back to watch parts of Karate Kid, Cobra Kai? What did you do to get yourself pumped into
Yeah,
this?
absolutely, man. And actually, when I booked the role, I'd only seen the first season of the show,
Okay.
and I had seen the Karate Kid movies a long time ago, like when I was a kid, and so I kind of did a whole character, like just for preparation for the role, and also just for fun. I think it's
Yeah.
like just to get excited about the show. Went back and kind of just binged everything. So I went into the show being really excited about just that whole world and it was great, man. It was really great. Although I will say, it's funny. Sometimes when you're auditioning for something or you're like lucky enough to join something that you like as a fan, there's more pressure in some ways to kind of
Yeah.
live up to that. So sometimes it's not better to not watch, but sometimes it's good to I think I just mean watching can sometimes add this pressure of, oh man, I don't want to screw this up and
Mm.
I want to fit into this. So but it was great. Yeah, it made it really exciting.
Yeah. What's unique about the show too is the fan, like I said, the fan base is so huge, and you're saying pressure too. It's like you're probably
Yeah.
going to hear feedback from fans right away as soon as they see your
Oh,
character.
absolutely. I'm already hearing feedback. I like people. I remember before my character was even announced, somebody DM me on Instagram, some random guy, and he said something. I was like, how do you even know this? Like, I'm not affiliated. I haven't been affiliated with the show technically,
Yeah.
to the public yet. So it's just, yeah, no, they're the fans are incredible how they, figure this stuff out.
Mm. And what's great about Axler, he's got a unique backstory. We've seen him. Was it he was trained in birth when he was born, right? Right away
Yeah,
to
right out the
martial.
womb.
That's what they're saying. That's what
Yeah.
that's what everybody's saying too. Like, how did you approach like this? When I'm watching, when I first saw your character, it reminded me of the '80s Dolph Lundgren type of thing.
Totally. Yeah. A lot of people are drawing that comparison, which is honestly I think kind of what they were. Obviously, he's his own character, but I'm sure they
Yeah.
were going for something similar. Just sort of that stoic, big physically imposing presence,
Yeah.
which I think
Indestructible.
works great. I think Cobra Kai hasn't really had a character like that. Correct me if I'm
Uh-huh.
wrong, but I feel like they haven't had a character quite like that yet. So it's
Yeah.
pretty fun, and especially uh, when you think of the world tournament of karate, there kind of has to be somebody like that. If you're getting the best from everybody in the world. But yeah, it was a really fun character to inhabit and something I'd never done any fighting and I'd never really played a character like that who, not to make him black and white, but who is sort of a bad guy but has redeemable qualities and
Yeah.
ends up having a pretty strong arc throughout the season. But it was a challenge, but it was really fun and it was cool, man. For me, yeah, again, I haven't played a character like that ever, so it was a fun role to step into, and yeah, I hope people enjoy the character.
I think they will. So you have no martial arts training background or anything?
None.
Wow.
Does it show?
No,
Yeah,
not
what
really.
is
That's why I
it?
asked. I mean,
Thanks,
from what
man.
I've seen. So how long did it take you to mentally portray a fighter like this?
Um, yeah, I mean, look, you don't, here's the thing, you can prepare as much as you want. When I got the role, I had a
Right.
call with John Hurwitz, with one of the show
Mhm.
creators, and he broke down the character for me and we kind of just talked ideas um and he was like, "Yeah, man, I mean, definitely." And I was already planning on doing this anyways, but he was like, really whatever you can do to get physically ready for the role, like anything you can prep would be great. So I was, I took a kickboxing class. I
Okay.
was doing a bunch of research online, trying to learn like basic karate kicks and moves. And I was in the gym a lot, just doing anything I could on my end. But ultimately, it can only prepare you so much, because when I
Mhm.
when I got to set, we sort of had this like almost couple day training period where we went over some of the initial choreography for some of the earlier scenes and just went through those like basic moves. And it was nothing that I really could have prepared for. Like of course I could have, but it was more like you have to see it and be there to get this. So I was really just thrown in. Um,
Mhm.
and luckily, I have like I played sports and I have some background in athletic stuff, so I think it maybe that helped a little bit, but it's a huge challenge, man. Really
Right.
fun. I really enjoyed it. It was something I definitely want to do more of, but
Mhm.
uh, definitely a challenge.
Mhm. How about like his mannerism too? Like, he's a little like I mentioned earlier, like a Dolph Lundgren, like
Yeah,
robotic a
yeah.
little bit, lacks social skills.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That part was easier for me. I think. I weirdly feel like the hard part of the character for me was the sort of the karate machine,
Yeah.
characteristic that he had. I think the vulnerability for whatever reason just came easier for me. Like that scene with Mary sorry, Sam on the beach.
Yeah.
That stuff just felt a little more natural to me, and I think it's as an actor, it's like that's like the human side of him that felt just I don't know, just there was an ease to that, and then just for me personally, I think like yeah, like trying to portray this force and trying basically like imagine I had to be the best fighter in that tournament and I was
Yeah.
one of the only people who was not an experienced martial artist. So just like that was just kind of an interesting situation to be in because in real life all these people are just incredibly talented and
Mm.
it's my first time doing martial arts. So it was just fun. Like you really had to be confident and show that through the character, but off screen, obviously, there were moments where I was like, man, I hope I'm doing okay. I'm around all these
Yeah.
people who are so experienced in this. But yeah, I'm pleased with how it turned out.
Mm. As far as we know, you might be the best fighter. We don't know what's going to happen next part yet.
Hey, yeah, hey, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
So, with Axel too, he competes in a high stakes tournament, and when you're building this character, what do you think is like his background, his influence to approach this tournament?
I sort of think of for him the backstory that's in the text and also just that I sort of created for myself is just yeah, it's I sort of compare it to like just somebody who's been raised by a very strict parent to excel in sports or and I have friends like that. I've had peers like that growing up and you've seen it. Just more like something that he was thrown into. He almost doesn't know why he loves it. It's just
Yeah.
it's the only thing he's known for so long, so it's kind of like that's just what he does, and I think it's like that goes into the whole treatment from Sensei Wolf and how he takes that just because it's like it's kind of what he knows. It's like it's what's been conditioned into him to feel like this is of utmost importance and this is what I should care about. I don't think so even when you see him interacting with like yeah, again, that example interacting with Sam, it's like so many other things like just these basic human interactions
Yeah.
with like a girl or someone he has a crush on is just it's so foreign to him because he just had this narrow mindset for such a long time with yeah.
Yeah. And you can tell through these 5 episodes too, like he feels pressured. He has to succeed.
Absolutely, yeah, it's very important to him. So um but yeah, that's what I think is really exciting about this character and fun for an actor and hopefully the audience finds it enjoyable as well, but just starting to like see that other side of him a little
Right,
bit, it
right.
just makes it interesting for me. And yeah, I think hopefully, people, because initially, like the way he's portrayed when he first comes in, that introduction or that scene that sort of introduces the Iron Dragons, you know, he just seems like a like a jerk, but just this
Yeah.
like big bad dude, and you
You're all
just
just
like don't
standing
like. There's
there.
no way this guy's gonna have a soft spot. There's no way that
Yeah.
this. So I think that's fun to see a little bit of like why he is the way he is and see that he is there's more to him
Mm.
underneath that surface level stuff.
Is there like an element or or a character insight that you think the fans are gonna like jump on and like root for this guy or like something they're gonna enjoy about him?
I man, I hope so. I hope so. I feel like
Yeah.
I don't want to say that necessarily. And well, I mean, I would think that people would hopefully I think everyone kind of has a heart, like you see the
Yeah.
treatment from Sensei Wolf and
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if you're a person, like you're gonna watch that and just be like, oh man, because we probably all like it's that whole hurt people, hurt people. It's like I think you have a ultimately like people are the way they are because of their experiences and things that have happened to them. So I think that I feel like for me as a person, I would have a heart for somebody who was being treated that way. It doesn't justify how they are, but I don't know. Yeah, I think people will have a soft spot for him. I hope. I hope.
I mean that's a great scene too, like the one we mentioned Mary a few times where she's walking in the back and she sees the way that Wolf is treating
Right.
Axel.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get a backstory on that on part three? Can you tease anything about that?
Ooh.
Why he's like that with
You
you?
know, I wish I could. I feel like I'm like a walking spoiler. I don't want to because I got loose lips. I would probably I wish I could say more. I just don't want to
Right.
jeopardize, maybe going too far and spoiling anything for part three.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah,
What about
sorry,
the?
man.
No, no, no worries. That's why I was trying to keep it like this. What about the way was it episode five with that big brawl breaks out? Tell us a little bit about that.
So crazy, isn't that? I was, yeah, man. It was so much fun. It was so much fun to film. It was really stressful. It was a lot of work to film because I think we knocked out that entire fight sequence in maybe like a day and a half or 2 days. So it was a lot packed into something. So I
Oh
remember
yeah.
filming it. It was high pressures. Like we have to have all these different moments. But there was just so many moving parts. So it was like pressure to be really on top of choreography so that everything looks good and we're moving through stuff quickly. And you don't want to be the guy who's like messing up and holding everyone up. But I think it ended up going really smoothly. And it's just I think fans are going to lose their mind because
Oh
nothing has
yeah.
happened like
Easily,
to
easily.
this extent. Yeah, in the show. I mean, it's by far one of the craziest fight sequences in the entire. So I think I'm so excited to see how people react to it. I know when I watched when I was able to see it, I had goosebumps. I was like, "This is crazy!" Just the whole moment, like when Gunther gets hit and everyone just goes
Right.
nuts. It's really fun, man. I'm excited to
It's
see how
insane.
people.
It was one of those things where like, because I had the screeners, when it ended, I just paused it and I looked right at my wife and I said, "What just happened here?"
Right,
It's
right,
like
a hundred
between
percent, man. Yeah, just
between the
crazy.
way between the way it was left off and just that huge brawl, you're like you have to like stop and like think about it.
Yeah. Oh my God. I know. It's really yeah. And then there's that ending moment, obviously, which is kind of devastating and just another huge shocker. Just something that
Right.
hasn't been really hasn't been seen in the
Mhm.
show before. And I think it just adds an element of excitement to. I love like anything that's like unsuspected in a show. I think is really
Right.
fun,
Right.
especially for like these diehard fans who are just want something really good and something really exciting. To just have something that they probably are not expecting at all is be fun to see how people react.
Yeah, definitely. What about like, you had the tournament fights and you also had the big brawl. Is there a specific co-worker actor that you couldn't wait to like get those fight scenes going with?
I really enjoyed the fight that I did with Tanner with Robbie.
Yeah.
Um, that he and I really matched each other's energy well with the fighting because and so did everyone's great like everyone not I'm just saying if I had to pick somebody I really enjoyed doing the stunt stuff with, it was probably him because you have to be going at a certain speed to make it feel realistic. But
Yeah.
there's an element of risk to that because you really are like, banging up your arms and bruising your shins and stuff. And I feel like we just had this sort of, I don't want to say like telepathic, but just in a way we really understood, like we were able to match each other's energy really, really nicely for
Yeah.
those moments because it was sometimes it's like, I hope I'm not going too hard. Is that too hard? And he just brought it and came in with intensity. So I was like, okay, if you're doing that, I'm gonna do that. And we just, yeah, you know what I mean? So I feel like we were
You
just on the same
clicked.
wavelength
Yeah.
with that, and it worked really well for the scene. So I enjoyed working with him.
Mm. Was there anybody that you were kind of bummed that you didn't get a chance to have a fight scene with that you could have?
Uh, Somebody that I had I mean, man, I feel like the brawl really, really covers a lot. I
Yeah.
feel like I got to fight
A little
most
bit
of
of
the people
everybody.
that I got to, maybe like Hawk, maybe that would have been cool if I if I had a fight with him
Yeah.
or something. We had a one-on-one. But no, I mean, I feel like I kind of got to fight with most
Mm.
people.
When you were going through the scripts and you were reading it, like how like excited were you going when you were reading all that stuff, trying to prepare for these scenes and the episodes?
I was super excited. Yeah, man. I was really looking forward to it. Every time I turned a new page, I'd be like, "Oh, this is so cool! How they're either the direction they're taking the character with,
Yeah.
or the people I get to fight, or that moment." Um, like I love how the whole, the dynamic that I have with with
Yeah.
Sam, kind of plays into the rest of like that moment in the brawl where like Quan kicks her and that kind of ignites
Yeah.
the anger in me and leads to that next sequence. I just think that was all tied together really nicely. So I was really exciting
Mm.
reading all that.
How sad do you think the fans are going to be when they see the what happens to Quan?
Oh man, devastated because everyone like already. I mean, Brandon, he's the nicest guy and he's
Yeah.
such an amazing fighter, and he just like I think people are already kind of falling in love with that character. So
Yeah.
I think, and in the fact that he's like a bad guy and people are still enjoying him
Oh
and
yeah, definitely.
really loving him that much. So I feel like it's people, they're gonna be bummed, and I'm bummed. But I think yeah, they're gonna be disappointed that Quan is gone. But and they're probably gonna hate me too for being involved in it.
Right, right.
He did it to himself, okay?
He did it to
I didn't
himself,
touch him.
yeah. What about would you be on board for Iron Dragon spin-off or some kind of Axel story down in the future?
I would love that. I would be ecstatic. It'd be so fun to get to work with Reina and Luwis again, and just I would have that would be so much fun. And again, like I said earlier, I really want to do more of the martial arts stuff and some more action. So I would be really open to that. It'd be a lot of fun.
Can you tease anything about part three without giving any spoilers away?
Um, I mean, expect the part two is crazy and it's a lot of fun. I mean, just expect the energy. Don't expect it to die down because of what happens in part two. Just expect it to be, you know, high energy and really exciting all the way through
Do
to the
you have a
end.
message? Do you have a message for the Cobra Kai fans that are going to tune into this interview? Because
Yeah.
they're gonna love you. I think they're gonna love your character.
Oh, thanks, man. I mean, thank you. Thank you so much for supporting the show and supporting the characters. It means it's the reason that the show gets to keep going, and it means so much for my work and everyone's work on the show to be recognized and for people to enjoy it. So, yeah, you don't have the show without the fans. Thank you guys for all the attention and the yeah, how much you care about the world, and it means a lot.
Patrick, let's end this by how can the listeners, the viewers find you on social media? You know they're gonna blow up. Your social media is gonna blow up even more when this gets released.
Oh, yeah, well, thanks, man. I'm just on Instagram. My Instagram is Patrick D Lewis, and Lewis is Luwis. Yeah, I'm just on Instagram, so you can find me
Amazing.
there.
We'll have to get you when part three comes out. We'll continue this story. We're interested to see what happens to Axel.
I would love that. That'd be fantastic. Let's do it.
Amazing. So yeah.